team three.
Well, hello. Today, our topic would be how critical thinking helps us on our daily problem solving. And first of all, critical thinking is often defined as a purposeful, self-regulatory way of thinking that involves analyzing, questioning, and making the right decision when it matters. It also helps us in our everyday life to question everything that happens surrounding us and everything that is happening in the world. Today, our panelists will introduce themselves and their areas of interest, and we'll be talking about this topic. Whoever wants to begin, can go ahead.
Hello, my name is Mateo Rodriguez. I'm a discussant, and I became interested in critical thinking when I realized that we make everyday decisions without even thinking about them.
Okay, so hello, my name is Sarate, and my role is like an everyday problem solver. So what this means is that I focus principally on how this type of critical thinking helps us to make better decisions in our life and in a more easy or smarter way, and also how to stay like more calmer, to slow down, and the most important thing is like to choose what's the best for us depending on the different decisions in our life.
Good morning, my name is Juan Rivera, and I'm passionate about understanding how we can use the critical thinking to face challenge more effectively.
My name is Luis Solis. I'm a cognitive scientist, and my interest lies in studying mental shortcuts and systematic errors that lead even smart people to make poor choices.
My name is Chema, and I focus on the emotional side of critical thinking, how emotions can affect our decisions and sometimes even help us.
Well, now what I would like to do is ask you some questions in general for each one of you, and to be of what inspired you to follow your purpose that you have already said to the audience, and how can you share some of your memorable experience related to your area of expertise?
I think that the main problem was that I didn't realize that I make everyday decisions. Well, not everyday decisions, but like didn't think about the decision I was going to make. And what really helped me was to calm down and break it down and have more thought about it, because typically you just do decisions without really thinking about them. And I came to a realization that when you calm down and understand what really matters, and you make a better decision.
Okay, so for me, what inspired me the most is because like I was struggling to make decisions in my life. So because of this, there were some times when I rushed or even like don't know what to do because I was confused. So here, what I did, it was trying to start like taking things step by step, and because of this, it really helped me like to remain also in a more calmer way and try to think of what can I do or what can I choose better decisions in my life.
My inspiration is how often we read instead of reflecting in even daily life, in project groups, in friends or groups, and I think we take a moment to analyze and ask why and how.
Well, I became interested in cognitive science after realizing how often people, even the very smart ones, rely on mental shortcuts that lead to making poor decisions. One memorable research experience showed that participants with strong analytical skills still fell into these common reasoning traps and when making quick decisions. This reminded me how powerful and strong critical thinking can be in helping us slow down and making decisions, better decisions, and question assumptions.
So what inspired me is that I often saw that people took their choices and decisions based on emotions and not by being logical. So that led me to think how we can combine both and make better choices in our life.
Okay, so now I would like to know what were some of the challenges and what were your solutions, like regarding some of the problems that you could have in with related to critical thinking.
I think that my main challenge was like when I react too fast, I make harsh decisions and they are likely incorrect. But for example, when I make the decision to come to Tecnológico Monterrey, it was a hard decision that I thought a lot, and I also like talk around it with like my family and everything. And in the end, I made a decision to come here. And I think that the best way to make a right decision would be to think about it a lot and discuss it with the people like that you love, and that will help you make a better decision for your future.
For me, something that I always have a struggle is that I try to do many things in my life, and because of this, there were sometimes like I feel stressed or overwhelmed about it, and because at the end I didn't do anything because of everything that I was thinking on how to try to finish everything. So what I did here is like try to understand what was the main problem and try to divide my tasks, like prioritize them to first of all the most important task, and then like try to make a small plan to divide it in steps by steps, as I said before. And here it helped me like to organize and to try to cover all my activities in my life.
Okay, I think the most important is make questions. I use the questions to know the point of view about something.
Well, a really common challenge is that people rely too much in intuition instead of careful analysis. I found that pausing to question assumptions and to reflect into reasons behind decision can improve our critical thinking and lead to a better problem solving.
One big challenge I think is that often we feel angry and emotions can they cloud our decisions. So when I feel angry or sad or I have an emotion, I think clearly, analyze the situation and take a deep breath and then react, not just like react and that's it, like think and then react.
Well, now to end with this, what would be an advice that you could give the audience and some of their peers related to critical thinking?
I think first of all is stop and think about what you're going to do, what the approach you're going to get, and also when discussing with someone, put yourself in on the other people's shoes and on their point of view, and leave emotions aside to make the correct decisions, and yes, to always think before making a decision.
I will say that first try to take small steps, I said before, and don't like rush and don't decide other thing before that. So, and also like don't worry if you feel like overwhelmed or stressed about everything that you have to do during the day. Just like focus on trying to manage your time, because if you try to do this type of critical thinking can help you to remain more calmer, to organize in every aspects of your life, and most important to finish the most prioritized thing that you have to do during the day.
And an advice I give you is never stop questioning. Don't be afraid to admit when you don't know something. And I hope everyone understanding critical thinking is more than this. And that is
Well, my advice is to slow down and question your first instinct when thinking about a decision. And I realized that taking a moment to reflect on your reasoning helps you avoid bias and see alternatives you might miss.
So my advice is that emotions aren't like the enemy of critical thinking. Is by combining both that you can have a better outcome. So always have also like empathy And yeah, that's my advice.
And with this, we would like to close our panel about the benefits of critical thinking in our problem solving day to day. We would like to thank the audience for listening to us, and also our panelists for giving their thoughtful insights and their precious time for making this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.